Welcome. So excited to be here. And I'm really excited to be sharing today with the beautiful Kerrie. Hi, Kerrie.
Hi, Carly. How are you?
I'm good. I'm so excited that you're on here today. You've been doing such incredible stuff with Spinal Flow. What I want to know and what I think everybody wants to know here is like, first tell us like what got you into Spinal Flow, like your journey. Talk to me about that.
Yeah, so my journey was I guess like a lot of people fell over spinal flow, literally. I have worked on the physical body for many years doing different modalities. And whilst I got great results and had a busy clinic and all the things like that, there was always something missing, but I didn't know what it was. And then I was working one day and came up, had a cuppa, flicked Facebook as you do, and up come your ad. So as I'm reading that connection immediately going, this is the missing piece to my puzzle I've been looking for. So it was as simple as that. Next minute phone call, next minute studying, next minute practitioner. So yeah, that and it's absolutely was a piece to that puzzle. And the results have far exceeded anything, that I could have done manually on the body. So yeah, incredible stuff.
That's so good. And why do you think that is? Because I was the same. I was working very manually on the body. And then for me, the realization was rather than me working manually with where I think things need to go and be positioned in the body, it was a real surrender in, hey, the body has a wisdom. The body
Yeah.
actually knows how to heal itself without me doing it. So what if I actually could connect in with the body so their body could take over the healing
Mm.
process? And to me, that's when all the miracles started to happen.
Yeah, I have to agree with you. I think that's exactly what happened to me as well. And it's interesting how different doors and different pathways open for you. And, throughout all of my career and all the modalities and things that I've done and all the work and all the things, it never kind of enters your mind that, hey, the body can heal itself until you know it can. And then when you start to learn that, oh my God, it just all drops into place and you think absolutely makes 100% sense. But for some reason, sometimes I think we're on the educational path of going, if I do this and release that and manipulate and move that, we can get pain relief, and we can. But now 100% my belief is that all those are great for working with the symptoms. And so now I, 1,000% believe that spinal flow, we're working right with the cause. We're coming back to that nervous system where everything starts and finishes. So that's where the penny dropped in for me. And just how, incredible it is that we don't have to be doing all that hard work. The body can actually, we just need to push the right buttons gently. And
And
the
that's
body
so
does it.
interesting that you say that because that's what I found for me was actually it was hard work. Like my body was
Yeah.
getting tired, my brain was getting tired of what I need to do. And now that I actually know, well, actually, it's not about me, it's trusting the wisdom of the body. It's actually, it really starts with trusting and knowing that the body is smart, the body is wise. The body has put this stress and for a reason, and we don't have to be the one that takes it up. But if we can actually be on the right, like you said, the right buttons, right, that the body is so much smarter than my brain. And not
Mm.
only does it help them heal, it's actually long lasting because they've done it for themselves, which is really cool.
Yeah, yeah. And back then I never connected the fact that emotions store in the body and manifest as physical pain. That wasn't in my head. And now, like, how can it not be? It's exactly where it all comes from. And, back then you're asking all the personal questions that, with spinal flow, we don't need to ask those questions. We just can see it and feel it in the body, which is incredible.
Yeah, no, I love that too because I agree. When I graduated as a chiro, we learned to ask like we asked questions for an hour, and now
Yeah.
my thing is well, training my hands to go. Well, actually, I can feel that there's stress in the system. It makes sense that they've got headaches and back pain because
Yeah.
their bodies are blocked. But so it's
Yeah.
so good. I love that. Oh, I love that. Oh, so good. I want to hear from you though because I know you've been working with some pretty amazing people, but I'd love to hear who you've been working on and what results you've been seeing.
Oh, I could share like hundreds of stories.
I've got all week. Here we are. Cup of
We
tea.
don't, yeah, time is not on our side for me to sit here and blabber on for an hour and share all my stories. But, a couple that stood out that absolutely blew me away was working on a bubba who was 3 weeks old. Actually, mum came in first, and then Bubba was there, and Bub was really unsettled. And I just said, "Oh, is Bub normally unsettled?" And she said, "Yeah, he has been unsettled. He was only 3 weeks old, God love him." And she said he's having trouble going to the toilet. And I said, "Okay." And I said, "Well, would you mind if we did some spinal flow?" And she was blown that we could do it on Bubba's. And I mean, we didn't work on him for long. He was 3 weeks old, maybe 5 minutes, and it was just, excuse me, the connection you feel when you're working on somebody so little and so precious and so new to the world is just incredible. I couldn't match it, what that feeling feels like. And just watching him, he just laid on mama's breast and he just nestled in and his little body started to move as the flow started to come through. And I think maybe 5 minutes we were on his little access points for. And then she messaged me when she got home and said that he'd had a really good massive bowel movement and he's been asleep for, he had been asleep for hours. And I thought, oh, that's really precious and no trouble. I think she actually did mention that he had a bit of colicky stuff as well. So, we spoke about that. But I actually haven't had to see Bub again because he's been fine. And that was just one quick session. So that was pretty impressive. That actually blew my mind.
And that's why I love working on babies and children, because the stress or the blockage in their spine are quite fresh, which means we can come in just with one session, one contact. The body can find where the blockages is. In this case, it'd be right where, the nerves come out to the bowel, and release that. So then he can do what he needs to do. And that's it. It doesn't have to be there. But if you didn't work on him and that blockage was there, and as he gets older and older and he starts weight bearing and walking and moving, if that blockage is still there, we can create, one above, one below. And it could be that later he's diagnosed with some digestive issues or stuff going on his bowels. And it's like, but hang on, it's okay to have a little blockage when you're little, but it can go so quickly if we get it in time. And that's what I say to people, is that we need to be checking kids and babies, because everybody goes and gets their teeth checked, and but spinal care, like looking after the spine, checking to see if there's blockages, helping the body release them before they become, because as soon as they're there for longer, it takes longer to help them with healing. So
That's right.
love that you're working, and I do the same. For me, in my practice, I would say, I don't have a practice now, but when I did, I was like, you know what? Straight away, as soon as that baby comes out, let's have a little check of their little spine for blockages, because if we just, so many changes happen. You've got bowel, you've got, colic, like you said, reflux, difficulty feeding, moving your neck. Like there's so many things that if there's a blockage can affect their function. So that's so cool.
I would love ultimately to work with mamas, pre-pregnancy, during pregnancy, after birth, with the baby. I mean, if we as practitioners could get to babies as soon as they're born and treat them
straight away,
could you imagine how beautiful their life would be? They wouldn't have all this stress built up in their little body, and even being born, so stressful. And I don't think we realize how they hold on to that in their little bodies and how that just keeps adding. We just keep getting more and more stress. And the older they get, like you said, the more that it piles on. And then they've got a diagnosis with something that takes longer to heal.
Stress-free world. Stress-free world is really, sorry, that's not even right, because we can't create a stress-free world, because stress-free bodies. If we can help the body release stress, and starting with a little baby, so it doesn't have to suffer, and they can have that true expression of health and wellness, and that if there is stress that comes in, it can just be released. They grow up different. They just grow up completely different. When we start to have stress, and we grow up like that. I'm up for a vision of stress-free spines in the world. It would make such a difference. So I'm with my people that used to come in every time they had a baby. I'm like, straight away, second the baby comes out, I want to be working on the spine. I just want to check the spine. I mean, the birth process, you're looking at, some people have forceps, or they might have, the tension or the things on the head, or even just the normal birth. I mean, their head can have this little blockage right at the top here. And if there's a blockage there, it's a disconnection between the brain and the body. And like you said, diagnosis can come and form, but actually there's just a little blockage in there that we can help release. I love it.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
good.
100%.
All right, tell me about someone else that you work with.
Oh, okay. A man in his 60s came into me, didn't want spinal flow, thought it was all a load of rubbish. I said, okay. And I felt his body, and I'm not exaggerating when I tell you that his back was flat and as hard as a piece of concrete. So I worked on him as he wanted me to in a different modality, and was talking spinal flow the whole time. No, no, no. This is what I want. I want this done. All right then. Okay. Contacted him the next day, and worse, so much pain. I said, okay, come back in. This is what I would like to. Nope, I don't want to do that. Nope, that's weird hippie shit stuff. Nope. I said, okay, righto. Did it again. What he asked me to do, and he left. Contacted him 2 days later, and he goes, mate, my back is stinging me. I'm in so much pain. I said, here's the thing. No more. We're not doing that anymore. You're coming in, we're doing spinal flow. I don't care if you don't pay me, but this is what we're doing. And he goes, when? And I said, 2 o'clock today. Come. Anyway, so he actually presented, I should say what he presented with. He presented with mid-thoracic back pain, lower back pain. He was a golfer, couldn't swing a golf club. And not surprisingly, because he had no movement, his whole body was just like a slab of concrete. When he laid down, it was rock hard. There was no movement in any of the muscles, rock hard. After 6 sessions, no pain and playing golf. And the actual movement in his muscles had improved like 150%. He had movement in his muscles. Before, if you tried to move the muscles beside the spine, it was just rock hard, not moving. And after only 6 sessions, which is like 3 hours working on his body, that's the result he had. And now, I mean, he's had another 6, and now he comes. He so probably comes every couple of weeks now, and that's all he feels like he needs. So that was huge. And being a man, right? They think that, unless it's explained to them properly, they think, that if they don't understand it, it's weird hippie stuff.
Yeah.
But now he's my biggest advocate, and he's sent me so much business and lots of male clients, because he says, oh, it's not weird. It's.
Well, it's not weird. Like spinal flow is not weird. Like,
No.
the body, and we do assessments and we have a feel for the spine. Like it's really, I always look at it, it's where science, the spine and nervous system meets,
Yeah.
it can be called the energetic world, but it's not really either. It's actually, there's a spine, there's blockages that affects the nerve function, the brain, the spinal cord. And just because the contacts are gentle, they're super powerful. I always
Yeah.
think about a group of people when you're talking. So if you're talking to a whole group of people, if you're sometimes the loudest person, they might be loud, but it can be the person that comes in softly that's heard more. And that's all we're doing with the bodies. We're just entering the body gently so the brain can listen and powerful transformation can happen.
Yeah. Yeah.
When you said about his spine just being hard and the flat, I know for sure that the flexibility of the spine, and if there's hardness or there's blockages, it does change someone's life and their structure.
Oh,
When your spine is soft and flexible and flowing, everything changes. So when I feel someone's spine that's really hard and blocked, I'm like, oh, their life can't be feeling good. And if we can change that, it changes everything.
Yeah, and it did. And even his wife was saying, he's such a nicer person now. And I know he's still got a way to go. He still has blockages for sure, but the fact that he's got no pain and he's got more movement in his body is what he's most happy about. And yeah, his wife said he's a much nicer person. And he actually gifted her a package of 12 sessions for Christmas. So that's nice. I'll be working with her as well.
So good. And how good, and that's for me what I decided when I was working with lots of people with pain. And I got a little bit bored with pain, and I was like, I don't want to just do pain. There's a million practitioners that work with pain, and I want to help change people's lives. And when they started coming and going, okay, my pain's less, but I'm happier, I'm sleeping better, or their wives are saying, he's different. I'm like, yes.
Yep.
It's all related. Like the whole, your spine is related to how you function in this world. So that's so great. All right, tell me about your next person.
Okay. Oh, this lady is probably one of my biggest success stories. She is incredible. Only in her early 40s, which is young, obviously. Diagnosis of chronic fatigue, fibromyalgia, daily migraines that she was having Botox for every 3 months, neck, shoulder stiffness, thoracic pain, sleep issues, digestive issues, pins and needles, like you name it, she had it. And we've been working together for quite a while now. And she was at first having, 3 sessions a week because she needed to. She was very unhappy in her life. She was tired all the time. Her marriage was suffering. Her family life was suffering. And she now has none of those. And she is now about to take the leap to cancel her 3 monthly Botox sessions. She's put off the last two. But because of the way it's set up, she can't keep putting it off. So she said to me yesterday, she said, I'm going to cancel. I'm not going to have them anymore. I don't need them. That's incredible. And she is forever grateful that she has energy, that she now wants to go walking on the beach at 9 o'clock at night instead of crying herself to sleep in pain. Her husband has a new wife. Her kids have a new mama. And yeah, it's just, I can't tell you what that feels like to be able to give somebody their life back in all those areas. It's just absolutely incredible. There are no words that I can come up with that show what that feels like or explain what that feels like to be able to give back her life to her when she had a really shit life, crying herself to sleep every night in pain, and no one understood why, and all of those things. And essentially her body was just full, chock-a-block full of blockages, and lots of chemical, like all sorts of blockages that were holding onto her body, enabling it, stopping it from functioning at its optimal. So yeah, she now has a session once a week. We're down to that. We worked together all last year quite intensively, and she now has one a week, sometimes two if she feels she needs it, but she's now in control of her body, and she comes bouncing in and she's blah 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 blah. She's so excited. So yeah, that's an incredible story, that one.
That is so awesome. And it is like that, isn't it? Like, just there's so many people living lives where they don't feel great, they're not happy. And the thing is, with blockages and stress in the spine, it's not diagnosed. So these people are going to have blood tests, they're trying to work out what's going on. And some people are saying, oh, you're okay. And they're like, but I don't feel okay. I'm not happy. My body's not functioning. And a lot of it can be because, there's stress stored in the spine, creating blockages, affecting the pathway for the brain to speak to the nervous system and all the organs in the cell. And so it's like an onion. Once we start to peel the layers off, they start to go, I feel better. I have less pain. I'm happier. New mama, new wife, new all that. That's so incredible. Hey,
Yeah.
doing amazing work. I
Thanks.
want to thank you for being on this journey with me
Mm.
together, because you're just an incredible practitioner. I do want to find out as well, I mean, I know, but no one else does. I want you to share where you are, how people can find you, because there's going to be people listening to this right now that goes, I want to see Kerrie. So how do they find you?
I'm in the Gold Coast hinterland in a place called Beachmont, and I also have another clinic in Canungra, which is also in the Gold Coast hinterland, but just different areas. So I'm in two locations in the Gold Coast hinterland.
And how do they find you? Do you have like a website, a Facebook page, or something?
Oh, yes. My business name is called All That's Healing because I believe spinal flow is all that's healing. That's all we need.
That's all you need.
So yes, you can find me on Facebook and on Instagram. That's my Insta handle. And my website is allthat'shealing.com.au.
Yay. And I will ask, because this just also, like, if you do have any comments or you can't, just Kerrie will have a look at and she can respond as well on here too. Thank you. Thank you for all that you do. That all is healing. I love how you show up for your people, and I just loved hearing your stories. And we can just do this more and more. You've got hours, I've got hours too. We'll just keep chatting and share all these incredible stories with these people. The biggest thing that I would like people to really receive from what you've said is that, you spoke about these three people, including the baby, but just to know you're not different. So if you're at home and you're like, hey, you know, this is how I feel in my body. And my thing is like, we get it. And these people felt the same. And now they get to have their lives back. And so, if anything, I want you to at home just to feel inspired to know that, you know what, the body does change, healing does happen, and you can live a life in a body that feels better, with a mind that feels better, and just have happiness and joy in your life again. So that's what I'd like to leave on, and just thank everybody for watching. And it's nice to be back on here.
Thanks, everybody. Thanks for watching. And thank you, Carli, for bringing such an incredible modality to light, because it is changing thousands and thousands of life, not just physically, but emotionally and mentally as well. Lots of